Hello guys and welcome to the stream. Tonight we have the PlayStation F2 tier for the fourth round around the circuit the Paul Ricard. Last week CPI got their second 1-2 finish this season. And I'm gonna have a quick sip of my water because my throat is a little bit sore. Drivers are loading into the qualifying session. As we are on the way for qualifying. So today we will race around the circuit of Paul Ricard. As everyone will be selecting their setup and we will wait till someone goes out on track. As I hear the first cars leaving the garages, as I see a Williams that is believed. This Antiu is first out on track. He is the first one to leave his garage to set a bank lap, so he's on the hard tire for some reason. That shouldn't be the quickest tire to use in qualifying. So his bank lap will be quite a little bit off, I believe. Or he must cut some corners or so. Or just have a really amazing lap, which is quite difficult on your bank lap. As I have some information which I didn't read, he has a qualifying ban as he retires. So that makes a lot of sense. So then we go with base for the first lap. As he's braking into turn 1, cut as much as you can. Going on to turn 3, again cut as much as you can, keep it tight here to open up this corner. Really important exit on this one. Really tricky as he has a little moment of oversteer onto the DRS straight. Again here, cut as much as you can, as you also want to do it in that corner, but he missed the apex a little bit. You could hear him lock up the right front tire. Into the left. Using all the track that is available, as that's a common thing around this track, as you also do that on this corner. At this one you missed the curve, as we're gonna see what his first lap time is gonna be. It's gonna be a 29.2, as we have the Next is Jackie Boy to cross the line. Then we will have a Ferrari of Matthias. It's not the one of Matthias, it's from Henky, who is starting his lap. So then we have Fox Blue starting his lap. The slipstream here is quite powerful, so we will probably see the slipstream being used as Dominic Nielsen goes to a 28.8, as we're gonna see what Finley can do. There's also a 28.8, half a turn quicker than Dominic. As we have some people still in the pit lane going out of sync to try to get an open bit of racetrack for themselves. As Matthias went to P4. As we are gonna see what Fox Blue can do on this lap. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be 28.9. Almost 1/10 slower than his teammate, but did a purple sector 3, so gained a lot of time there. As we're gonna see what Henky can do, he invalidates this one. Steady, going to the last corner, opening the DRS, and it's gonna be a 29.0. As we have people who were in the box still going out on their warm-up laps. As we have one AlphaTauri still in pit lane, which is quite surprising. We go on board with Speclap to see what he can do. A lot of people on their in-lap now. As he does a purple sector 1. Coming onto the big straight, opening the DRS. No slipstream usage from LRM. He does a 49.3 middle split. As it was purple again, so he's going purple. Look like it's gonna be a provisional pole position from LR and Speclap. Coming around the final corner, keeps it tidy. There's a little bit of oversteer, just maybe that's the lag from spectating. But he does a 28.6, quite clear ahead by 2/10. So then it's Vapor Shadow who invalidated this lap. as we have quite a lot of people who haven't set their lap times yet. Quite a lot of people invalidated, as it is easy to invalidate on this track, because you want to use all of the track space available. And since you have so much space to take some risk, you have to take it. So it's easy to invalidate. As Raylox goes to P6 with a 29.0. As more people start in the lap, Clem doing a purple sector 1. Coming onto the straight. He is the first one to cross the line on the second runs. Is it the Ferrari going out of the way for him, as he does a purple sector 2 as well, so it's looking good for him. Coming through the final 2 corners now. Takes an early apex. As it is gonna be a 29.0 after going purple. That's quite disappointing last sector, losing quite a lot of time. So it's Dominic who invalidated his lap. And it's gonna be Finley to be the next one to set a lap time. Coming through sector 3. This tricky right-hander as you are turning and braking at the same time. And this one again, you're turning and braking at the same time, so it's easy to lock up the front, or even lock up the rear if you go risky on the brake bias. Keeps it a little bit wider and cuts in more on the late apex to optimize the minimum speed, as he improves his time, not his place, to 28.7. As Matthias goes to provisional pole position by 10 thousandths of a second, and Peklop going on the attack now. We have more people coming near to the line. CPI Henky who's pitting again, so still no lap from Henky. Paper Shadow also invalidated his lap, so the pressure is really on for those two guys, or they will be starting at the back. And it is Beta Express who is up by 3.5 tenths, so looking for quite the improvement. As it's 29.2, gained 1 position, as we're gonna go to Peklop, who invalidated his lap unfortunately. So he will be heading back to the pit. Hopefully more people who are on the lap. Yet Sartel, who is up by 1.5 tenths. Also Beto is he's not on the lap, he just finished. So we will be looking at Sartel, who does a purple sector 2. Touching the curve a little bit, costing him a little bit of time, but we will see what he can do. If he decides to just back out of it and enter the pit lane. So that's the provisional standings, as we have nobody on a lap now. It's Jackie Boy who decided to go out early. Possibly to give a slipstream to his teammate later on. I think so. As he will be the only one starting a lap right now. So we will follow him. Stops the curve really nicely there. No correction made yet so far. As he is up by half a tenth. So no slipstream for him. And it's Dominic who is out of the session, and Saratel also out of the session. As Sebi got a penalty, I believe, if I saw that correctly. Anyways, we will see that in a minute. As Jackie Boy meanwhile invalidated his final run, as he won't make it to do another one. So it's Snipes who is on a lap currently. So everyone will be starting their laps pretty soon. Let's see what he does in the first two sectors. He's 2.5 tenths up on his time. He still has to gain a little bit in the final sector to gain the position to Bas. So we just wait as he cuts over the curb quite aggressively. As there won't be an improvement for him. So everyone starting their final runs now, as we have Speculap who is the first one to invalidate this lap. So that's qualifying over for him. So Speculap won't be on pole position. As Matthias is starting his lap, Finley starting his lap, Seppi on his lap, Clem is on his lap. Who is the first one to cross finals? It's Dan. Dan will be the first one. P10 currently. Let's see what he can do as he does a 28.8 go to P4, as we have a Red Bull of Speculap next on track. He invalidated Aston Martin of Bas invalidated. Red Ninja still on a lap, but Clem is ahead of him with 3 tenths up, so looking to be a 0.6. Can he snatch the pole away? For now, no, he barely can. Only half a tenth. As we quickly go to Red Ninja, who is currently in P15. As he doesn't improve his lap time. As Seppi goes to P3. It's Matthias crossing line. Can he improve on his own lap time and secure the pole position? No, he can't improve. So can Finley maybe snatch the ball away? He can! 28.5. Nearly a tenth quicker than the rest. As that sets the grid, I believe. Yes, that sets the grid. So it's Finley who will be on pole position. Then we have CPI Matthias, LRN Speklab. Then we have the halves of Sebi. And all of the top guys quite close to each other. As Finley snatches ball with 1/10, and then there's just a half a tenth from P2 to P5. As we will have a restart because someone got a 5-second time penalty, or a 5-second grid penalty. So everyone will retire at the start of the race. As you can see, Sebi with the 5-place grid drop. So once more, it's Finley, Matthias, Speklab, Sebi, Clem, Fox Blue. As I'm gonna take a picture quickly of the grid. So one more time, Sebi, Clem, Fox Blue, Dan, Dominic, Relox, Beto, Jackie Boy, Saratel, Bas, Snipes, Red Ninja, Vapor Shadow, Hardy, Corbinen, Henky and Anti. So we will be right back after the... Well, first we're gonna watch the chaos which is gonna unfold. As everyone knows, we are gonna restart. So just waiting for everyone to load in. So 4, 5 red lights, and some people get a jump start. Henky is crossing, taking a lot of positions as he crashes out of the race. So let's see how many dives we're gonna see. So many people crashing, and there's a straight line. Fox Blue also off track as Vapor Shadows go into P1, as we have Matthias who takes P1 after, tries to brake check him. Everyone crashing into the wall. It's chaos at the start, as we have a safety car and everyone just flying off into the wall. Only Vapor Shadow still on track doing some donuts. I gotta love the chaos that happens if a restart is going to happen. So we will be right back after the restart. As we are back after a short break to the race, drivers will be selecting their setup and their strategy right now, as we have a lovely view of the Paul Ricard hospitality building and the garages with the small balconies with people already cheering by drivers getting their setups, people already clapping for them. So we are just waiting for the drivers to get ready. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and long one, away we go. It's Matthias with a pretty great start, already side by side with Finley into the first corner, leading a bit as they go side by side, and Matthias takes the lead after the first corner, but Finley managed to switch it back. So we have still people going side by side further down behind. People fighting for early on position, and we have a spin by Red Ninja, and I think Hadi and Corp are involved with it because they are quite far behind the pack. As we have people making moves into the chicane, as the grid is settled now a little bit. So it's Matthias leading for Finley, Speklap down on Clem. As we have the top 3 on the hard compacted fire, down on the medium, as Raylox makes a move on Sebi. Sebi immediately trying to give some pressure to Raylox, trying to keep close to him. As Vapor Shadow and Saratel are... as Vapor Shadow actually went off track. As we go behind with GT base to see what if he can make a move. He can't. Matthias already nearly getting a second lead. As further down behind they're still juggling for position. There's a try as Beta Express, who's been spun around along with GK base, as he has some damage to the front wing. As we saw a reset to track by Corp, caught on camera. Meanwhile, Clem and Raylox are battling it out in the chicane as Sebi tries to get involved, trying to overtake Clem, or defend from Clem actually, as we have another spinner by Vapor Shadow again. So a lot of spins and on-track action in the first few laps, as we're gonna see how it is going at the front. So it's Matthias who is already leading a substantial amount. Already managed to get Finley out of the DRS. As Finley is quicker by a few thousands. As Base and Vapor Shadow are coming into the box. As the DRS is activated this lap. We will check on Base and Vapor Shadow in a second. First, we're gonna see if Finlay managed to get the DRS. It looks like he didn't, and he's already flashing, so using a lot of the DRS early on as Dominic is going for a move on Glenn. As Jack Boy and Snipes going side by side through the chicane, as Jackie Boy managed to get ahead of him, as Snipes had a really great exit and managed to get the position back. But is also already flashing on the DRS. So it's Dan and Raylox who had a really great opening laps. Both drivers gaining 4th position, as Henky and Antti actually got the best start of everyone, gaining 6th position. As if you start from the back, there's only one way, and that way is upwards. So Beto had the worst start of everyone, losing 7 positions due to that spin. As Finlay is comfortable in the DRS zone now. So we have a yellow in sector 1 for Beto, as we went away too soon with him. Spun on the exit of turn 2, as it's Raylox who's pretty close on spec lap, but not close enough to make a move. Further down behind, it's Jackie Boy, as we have a spin from Henky. I think it was Snipes who was with him, who locked the rears and collected Henky with him. So that's unfortunate for Henky. He has to start all over again. Meanwhile, Dan on those medium tires is really putting up the pressure to the top guys, as we have a yellow in second 3. Is that already gone? I think it was for Henky and Red Ninja. I don't know for sure. I believe it was. So it's Dan who's really on the attack on Finley around the outside. Managed to clear him before the apex, but has a moment on the exit, which means Finley can go on the attack, but has to watch out for spec lock, as Beto retired from the session in the pit lane. So Dan managed to stay in the DRS to defend. But it's Raylox again who had a really great exit on that final turn, as further down behind it's Dominic overtaking Sebi. So there's a safety car because Hadi DNF'd. Will we see some drivers get into the box? For the medium and hard runners it's too early, I think. But maybe as Vapor picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car conditions. So that's his race ruined, as we have Corp and Snipes going into the pits. So Corp putting on a fresh set of the medium tire. The same for Snipe. Henke for a front wing change. So I think he had a collision or something. Or picked up damage from the short yellow flag before. So it's a safety car on lap 5. Vapor Shadow, whose race is kind of ruined, unless he's able to take the drive-through penalty and have a safety car after that right away. Only that way he might be able to come back in this race. So drivers getting their foot on the brake to burn off some fuel, keep the tires up to temperature, as that is the meta in this game, which doesn't make any sense, but it works, and it's more effective than using scrubbing the tires and weaving across the straight. So currently CPI is on for another win. The 1-2 seems quite the reach, as Henke is in P16 at the moment. He is on a fresh set of hard compound tire, so he will be able to extend very far into the race. Everyone got the chance to recharge their batteries, save the tires, burn some fuel. Vapor Shadow let pace by, or did he spun? I don't know. Maybe he just let him through because he knows he has the drive-through penalty and he's being nice. So we're gonna have the safe car in this lap. So Matthias is dictating the pace from this point on. Matthias going really slow to let the safety car get into the pits, as the safety car is in the pits right now, so he is free to go whenever he wants. As he already goes quite early, maybe tries to get catch Dan off guard, as Dan also had a really great restart. Will we see any moves into turn 1? No, we won't. Maybe Corp can make a move as he goes down the inside, trying to switch back, makes contact with Red Ninja, pushing him off track. That invites Snipes to get up the inside to get a lovely shot of that overtake. Corp trying to attack but loses the position with it. Meanwhile at the front it's a gap of 4 times. We have a spinner, I believe. Oh, he just had a big moment, he catched it. Quite an impressive catch if you ask me, as Daan goes for the lead of the race on those medium tires, making use of the tire, but has a quite poor exit, which invites Matthias to get back at him. So they're going side by side to the fast right-hander. Matthias manages. Is he gonna make it 3 wide? No, he doesn't. Daan on the inside. Matthias will have the inside for the next corner, but Daan tries to keep the outside, as meanwhile behind Speklab and Finlay are also battling quite hard. Finlay trying to make it stick around the outside, which will lead into the inside of the next corner. That invites Dominic to go up the inside. What a racing we are seeing on this restart of this safety car. It's Finlay who's still side by side with Speklab, that has to get back out of that, because that will have led to a crash. But it's Raylux who is on the attack now on Finlay. On the inside, Finlay manages to keep it side by side, tries a little bit of a switchback, is nearly pushed off the track, but he will have the position, as that invites Dominic to go side by side with Raylux, but he doesn't have the slipstream. As meanwhile, in the front, Matthias has the lead ahead of Daan. As they go 3 wide behind. Will that go well? Going 3 wide into the tricky right-hander. As far as I could see, there wasn't that much contact, but there is contact, as Corp had a spinner on the exit of the fast right-hander. Still, Fox Blue and Sarto are battling, as we have battles all across the track, as Sarto goes for a lovely dive on the inside. Can't quite make it, which invites Snipes to have a better exit than Sarto. So now Sarto will be defending the position against Snipes. Snipes on the inside into turn 1. Brake a little bit later and managed to get on the inside, as DRS is activated again. So let's see what Daan can do with the DRS. So we have a yellow in sector 2, and that's Sarata who spun. Maybe battling a little bit too hard, as it's Daan up the inside. He got him, as Speklab goes wide. Speklab losing the position as a spin with Sebi joining the track in a dangerous manner, not watching his mirrors or his proximity error, as Vapor Shadow picks up a 3-second penalty. Speklab throwing it in the bin quite hard. Meanwhile at the front the battling is still going on. The field is really close in this PlayStation F2 tier. Will TGT can get their first win today, with Daan currently leading the race. His mediums will drop off quite soon, as Reynolds is struggling with the engine temperature, I believe, because he was getting out of the tow, as Snipes picks up a 3-second penalty. That's his chances for the race win basically over. Finley getting really close to the back of that Ferrari, but gets a poor exit, which invites Raylox to be even closer to him. Only 1.5 tenths is the gap, but as you can see on the gap, Finley used quite a bit of ERS. As further down behind, there are people battling, as it's Red Ninja losing the position to Specklop. Specklop, front running driver. Henky and Snipes going at it. Henky overtaking Snipes, as Henky had such a great restart of the safety car. Up to P8. He was in P16 at the safety car. Already up to P8, so that's halfway there to the lead. Does have quite fresher tires than the guys ahead, so that makes sense why he can cut through so easily. It's Raylox who overtaking Finley. Finley losing the position, trying to defend on the inside. Can't quite brake late enough. As we will see the next DRS opportunity, and let's see if someone can make a move into the chicane. We go on board with Matthias, and it looks like he is gonna make a move on the inside. Quite easy behind, or easy ahead. Henky also ahead of as I say ahead of, but he makes a mistake which gives Snipes the position. Meanwhile, Dan lost the lead to Matthias, as Raylox going aggressively on the inside, trying to make it stick around the outside. Can't quite keep it side by side. But the yellow in sector 2 is that it's Vapor Shadow spinning again. As we have a nice little catches at the front. Dan is into the pits. Same for Sevi. He will be boxing for the hard compound tire. So in a few laps time we will see what the undercut can give him. As we have a spin for Snipes. That's unfortunate. Was really making up places. As he will probably lose the position. Oh, there's a yellow in sector 2 as it's Clem who spun around. So I missed that battle. Meanwhile, Henky is already into P6. Maybe the 1-2 for CPI is still on the board. Will we see Raylux and Dominic pitting this lap? Raylux stays out, Dominic stays out. As Finley is into the pits. On the hard compounded tire, it's quite early, going for aggressive undercut on the medium. As Raylux goes down the inside of Matthias to take the lead of this race. Meanwhile, Finley losing the position to Dan. Dan with the undercut which has worked. But we go to the front, where it's Matthias in the DRS of Raylux. Raylux aggressively trying to break the toe, but Matthias quite easily overtakes him, even before the braking zone. As we have a yellow in sector 2, who has spun and snipes again with spun. That's his race definitely over now. So it's Dominic who's pitting, Matthias pitting, Fox Blue pitting, Antti pitting, a lot of people into the pits now. Everyone who is on the hard tire will go to the medium, and everyone who is on the medium tire will go to the hard compound tire. So let's see where they get out on track compared to Dan, who has got quite an undercut as Snipes retires from the session. So Dan is already past them as they are leaving the pits right now. So it's Dan with a 1.5 second lead ahead of Matthias, but 2 laps, all the tires and a harder compound. As Snipes is the 4th DNF. As it is Finley who has the warm tires already trying to put the pressure on Matthias. So it's Specklap into the pits, going for a fresh set of medium tires. Meanwhile, Reynolds is still out on track on those old medium tires. Will he be trying to get to a set of soft tires? As Henky is chilling in the DRS, trying to get along with Relux. So after the pit stops, the race has settled down a little bit. As GK Base goes into the pit with 10 laps old soft tires, which means Relux can make it on the soft compounded tire. Henky is putting up the pressure though, trying to tell Relux to either get faster or get out of the way, as it's Dominic with a penalty, as Saratel is into the pits, Clem in the pits, Base in the pits. Meanwhile, the lead Dan had is already vaporized as Henky makes a move on Relux with the DRS, but we are gonna focus ourselves on Matthias and Dan, who are battling the whole race already, as Matthias goes past quite easily on those fresh and medium tires. Will Henke try to, as Raylux finally gets into the pits, will Henke try to finish the race on this hard compound tire? Because then maybe he can have a shot at maybe winning or even on podium, or maybe even winning this race. As it's Finley, excuse me, on the attack of Dan. Further down behind it's Relux on the soft tire as I expected, but he will have quite a gap to make up as Dan and Finlay are battling with each other, causing them to lose the DRS to Matthias, which is a big advantage for CPI as they are a 1-2-1 track. One driver who maybe can finish this race on a really long hard stint. Meanwhile, it's Dominic who was behind both Finley and Dan, but they are battling so hard that Dominic just said, okay, goodbye, I'm gonna get past and I'm gonna do my own race. So it's Dominic in P3 now. GK Base in P10 with already 3 pit stops. Dan and Finlay just can't stop battling. They are still battling on track, losing a lot of time. Finlay now nearly losing the DRS to Dominic, and finally they've decided to stop battling and work together to try and catch up back to Matthias. So this time Matthias has the fastest lap with a 31.6. As Sebi picks up an unfortunate 3-second time penalty for track limits. Henke losing half a second in the first sector alone. What does he lose in the chicane? It's about 2/10 what he loses, but the real technical corners still have to come. Meanwhile, it's anti-pressurizing Dan, who is on those hard tires, which are now a disadvantage for him, so he's dropping down like a stone, trying his best to defend every position he can for those last 8 remaining laps. So now it's Fox Blue pressurizing down into the second sector. Probably make a move onto the straight. As Saratel and Red Ninja are battling. Saratel overtaking Red Ninja as Fox Blue has a really nice run, opening the DRS, using a bit of ERS to get fully ahead. Is flashing though, so used a lot of his battery. As Speklab and Bas are not even battling, Speklab just flew past. As Corp picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Meanwhile, Matthias is only extending his lead to Dominic. So in the last 2 laps, Henke lost about 3 seconds. So that's 1.5 seconds per lap. If we're gonna count, that's 7 laps remaining. Times 1.2, well, 1.5. Which means Matthias will be on the back of Henke on the last lap of this race. So will we see a CPI battle on the last lap for the win? Or will they play the team game and just finish as it is? So if Henke wins, that means... Where is the graph? I can't find it. Where is it? Position change. It means he will have started P19 and wins the race. Which means he just had an incredible drive if he manages to win this race. It's Raylux and Fox Blue going at it in the final sector. Raylux trying to make up for the overcut he did, losing a little bit of time, but is on the soft tire, so has better grip than everyone else as he is ahead of Fox Blue. Now behind his teammate. Will his teammate give up the position, or will his teammate try to overtake Finley to make it a little bit easier for Raylux? Drivers pressurizing each other to force a mistake, as there was a small mistake by Finley, but it's Raylux who gets the position of its teammate. No battling required. Both Mercedeses are flashing and both Williamses aren't, so that means the Williamses of FC1 have an ERS advantage over Team X. As LRN also make a position swap, as Raylux already passed Finley, making light work of him. Will he be able to overtake Dominic straight away into turn 1? From what it seems, he is the only one who can pressurize CPI at the moment. If he can catch them quick, which he will, because he will make a move into turn 1 for P3 into the podium positions. And trying to get out of the DRS. And trying to hunt down this man, Matthias. Meanwhile, Dominic managed to catch up again to the back of Raylux. As the race is settling down a little bit, except for these guys. These guys still going at it. gearbox to gearbox, or front wing to gearbox, gearbox to front wing. Will we see anyone who can make a move? As it looks like Henky will be able to pull off this amazing strategy, because Matthias isn't gaining that much anymore. So can Raylux stop CPI from getting another 1-2? That will be the third 1-2 of CPI this season. Meanwhile, Clem is on the attack on Jackie Boy, on the inside. Managed to make the move stick. Clean move. Out of the book. As it's Dan who has really fallen down the order. As Red Ninja picks up the 3-second time penalty, which doesn't really matter for him. Meanwhile, the battle for the final podium position is still on. As they go to the back straight again. Antti with a really great run on Finley. Finley using a lot of ERS. Both drivers using a lot of ERS. Both drivers flashing. Not possible to make a move. As Finley picks up a costly 3-second time penalty. That will cost him really much. Meanwhile, the softer Raylux are dropping off quite aggressively, which means Dominic can put pressure on him again, as Saratel crashes out of this race with only 3 laps remaining, or 2.5 actually. That's unfortunate, which will mean every driver who finishes will get points this race. And the win for Henky is in his hands. He's the only one who can throw it away right now, because Matthias is not gonna catch up with 5.5 seconds. With 2 laps remaining, the main question is who will get that third and final position on the podium, as we have Raylux who can get it, Dominic who can get it, Finley can get it. Well, Dominic and Finley have a 3-second time penalty, so they probably won't, but Antti can still get it, Foxblue can still get it, so we have basically 3 guys who are really fighting for the podium, but 2 of which will have to come from far, as Foxblue is setting the tone and trying to overtake Antti, who pushed offside, and Finley spins out on the penultimate lap of this race, so that cost him a lot of points. Meanwhile, Antti and Foxblue are still battling. Foxblue manages to get ahead, but Antti with the switchback line is on the inside, as they both crash. As Foxblue even DNFs. What a penultimate lap of this race. I'm lost for words. Finley with a So Finley with a spin, Mercedes throwing everything, Team X throwing everything in the bin. As then it will be Raylox who can get the podium if he stays within 3 seconds of Dominic or ahead. So we will see who can get P6. It's down on those hard tires, getting back up to P7, maybe even P6 if he is able to overtake Jackie Boy. Going for a wide line, but that invites Clem to go on a move on the inside. So loses a little bit of touch with Jackie Boy as Dominic overtakes Raylox, but that won't matter as he has a 3-second time penalty. Clem on the attack on Daan, gets ahead. Will we see some crazy overtaking action in the last sector of this race? As meanwhile, it's Henky who is already in the final sector with a 4-second lead. But I want to stay with this as long as possible. It's Clem on the inside. Decides to back out of it, which is like Daan trying around the outside, just can't make it. Looks like it has settled down as we go to the winner of this race. CPI Henky on a magical, long, hard stint from P19. As Matthias makes it a 1-2 for CPI once again. The third 1-2 finish of this race. Then it's Raylox, Dominic, Speklap, Jackie Boy, Clem, and Daan didn't manage to get Clem in the end. Wow, what a race we had. As we are waiting for the final guys to finish. As Clem has left the session already, which caused him to DNF, but he finished, I believe. Maybe it's the bug of the game. So we're just waiting for Red Ninja and Corp to finish their race to secure those points. But what a race this was. What a race. As Corp finishes in P13, but it will be P14 because Clem did get a glitch, I think. What a race this was. Henky with a win from P19 on the grid. As I get the information from Ace, who normally does commentating, that Dominic will be able to get a 3-second penalty removed, so then it will be Henky, Matthias, Raylox, Dominic, Speklap, Jackie Boy. Then Daan with the early lead didn't manage to keep it, but CPI doing magical strategy. So that was it for tonight. What a race we had. I hope you enjoyed this evening with me. CPI once again with the 1-2 finish. FC1 finishing off the podium. Team X throwing everything in the bin on that penultimate lap. Seppi was also looking great, but unfortunately spun. So yeah, that was it for tonight. And we will see you back on track tomorrow with PS F1. See you tomorrow.